expecting the Sacred Warrior potentially to come through, right? But making sure that Shaman, you know, position 4 that can farm lanes, and he does very, very good with that gold that you give him. Right? Early Blink, early Aether, and you're off to the races.
Can't imagine A doing much against an IO Underlord lane, though, to be fair. It feels like there's going to be a lot on the MP here.
Agreed.
There's a lot of team fight now, obviously, with Ancient Apparition and Mars. Most importantly, damage, and you have great ganking potential. So the kill potential is there, right? A is fantastic 5 for kill potential because he's one of the few 5s that can stay in lane, sap experience in the dead lane, and then still throw Ice Blast and get ganks.
And something I actually want to bring up, because we saw this, I think, yesterday. I don't remember what game it was, but there was a Tusk that kept snowballing his team, and then the AA would just wait for the snowball to find its mark, and he'd have the Ice Blast ready to be released, and then like 4 heroes would get Ice Blasted. If you think about it, Underlord's Fiend's Gate is very similar to that.
Yeah,
It's marked on your map. It's pinged even on everyone's map in the game.
It's true.
You know if they're going to be coming. You can just stand pretty close by and then just immediately have it ready to go. Just a consideration, because AA is very strong versus the snowball, and there is the puck.
Yeah, good call, good call. The Shaman's still in the pool. Oh, I guess now that the AA got well, no, you can still Shaman 4 here perfectly, right?
Yeah, you could still Shaman 4. It's a pretty strong lane with a Mars. I wouldn't be opposed to it. They could also be thinking about flexing this Nature's Prophet mid lane, which is potentially why they hit you with this Windrunner puck. I think OG, they like to run it safe lane, haven't they before? So which team was doing it safe lane?
The puck safe lane?
No, sorry, make that Windrunner safe lane. Wind Ranger, pardon me, safe lane. I've seen it once before. I couldn't remember if it was Uragi on it, but we've seen it, I think, twice this tournament at least. This very well could be the 3rd game. I did go 1-1 in those games that I know of, the 2 I'm referencing. But either way, I think it's good heroes to respond to potentially flexing the Nature's Prophet, just making sure he doesn't have a lane he's too comfortable in.
Okay. Leer into the puck. I mean, you know what? With the recent changes to puck, I think this is no longer the counter that we always talked about, especially because you can just shard and you're done. And Pango is technically, I mean, you actually have 2 potential flexes for the offlane, because Mars and Pango can both go either 4, mid, or 3, right? You'd go, wait, Mars 4? Yeah, this team does that.
Yeah,
of course they
Force Major, he'll do it.
And I think he also plays Pango, at least when he was on VPP. Or Next Generation, whatever. He played Pango 4 a couple of times, right? So it is certainly within his wheelhouse. And I do like this potential flex of a last pick, right? Because that's the biggest strength of the last pick after all. I'm not seeing the most synergy for this team, though. Like, there's good heroes against what OG has, and there's the Ancient Apparition Mars synergy for sure, but I don't feel like the Pango brings the kill potential too much. And you also give now the option for OG to just ban Shaman, which I honestly loved as a pick.
Yeah, that's fair. The one benefit to Pango, I will say, and perhaps why they pick it here, is because you've got a couple of heroes who are quite elusive, who are very, very, very squishy, and would basically die in 1 or 2 swashbuckles with Diffusal, especially the Windrunner, Wind Ranger, pardon me, who cannot evade, even with the Windrun, right? She cannot evade that damage. So that
they ban Huskar.
I told you, they banned. I wasn't expecting OG, actually, to ban Huskar.
Well, remember, actually, when we're casting the EU Div 2, they picked, that was 1 game, Laurel 1. Was the Huskar game, remember? It was a very weird... we didn't know, and he just kind of like threw it out there, and because back then Huskar was absolute trash.
He was not picked back then at all. Yeah, that would have been back when we were in the van, or maybe the next season. That was over a year ago.
That was van season,
a year ago, yeah.
I don't know. This is... This Huskar ban, obviously, because you covered with the Ancient Apparition, I get it. Especially, this does indicate to me they're thinking of puck mid, right? They're not really thinking of flexing the potential Wind Ranger here, because that does deal with Huskar really nicely. And they also get rid of the Viper. Huskar Viper indicates to me, I mean, I guess they're both good against puck. Okay.
The Underlord aura as well is really punishing to NP, especially if he decides to go into the Wraith Pact. It just feels impossible to do any right-click damage here. Your NP is going to feel super, super, super weak. Even Pango's damage will be lackluster. So getting a break onto that Atrophy aura is maybe something, or rather OG prioritizing Atrophy aura, making sure that there's no easy solution to taking that out from the fight. I kind of agree with you, though. BetBoom, their initiation, 2 decent initiators. This Mars Pango, Dahawk is an enabler for these guys as well. These OG bans, I wonder what is on their mind. Obviously, they are thinking that BetBoom are looking for some kind of lane dominator to tie this together with those bans. Is that something you could take advantage of potentially? This Underlord IO lane, not that strong. Windrunner +1, not that strong.
I mean, they also have the global potential here on the Bloodseeker and Spectre, right? So I think that's where BetBoom was thinking. Like, oh, okay, they're going to go for something global. I can't really think of any other carry that has this global potential.
Dawnbreaker.
Lycan, Dawnbreaker, right? Those are the two that come to mind.
I'm just putting the name out there.
Yeah, but they're trash as well, but you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Razor
again. Okay.
I mean, he's not the global presence, but he's always active, so there's that too, for
and
sure.
you can bring him in relatively quickly with the Fiend's Gate, right? So that's always useful, and he's speedy. And
There's
there's the Shaman. Okay.
Perfect. I was surprised they didn't ban it, actually.
Me too. Yeah, me too. I think they were just more scared of a different hero being picked up rather than potentially the Mars going safe lane. Rather than any of these picks being flexed to something else, right? They feared that. So clearly they were okay with the Shaman, because I don't think anyone is surprised when you see a Shaman pick, especially against a puck, especially when circuit boards are as crazy as they are.
Yeah, exactly. They are in dire, which obviously made Shaman less value, at least how it's played this tournament, because when people started playing Shaman to like solo Roche, it became kind of a surprise thing, and doing it on dire was actually an advantage because you can sneak it easier, because your support's out of the map, you don't expect them to do Roche because they're dire particularly, so you go, oh no, they took Roche. But now that everyone knows the Shaman strat, I don't think dire Shaman is half as strong as Ranger Shaman.
Calling it a strat is also,
now that everyone knows
the Shaman play.
Shaman play, yeah.
It ain't much of a walk into pit, press R, yeah, I mean.
Shackle the Roche. I mean, there's like at least 5 buttons that gets pressed in that play, because you have to cancel Roche Lincolns, right, with Ether Shock. It's not easy, Richie. It's not easy.
It's not easy,
I've messed up that before. I've died to Roche and solo.
But I still kind of like that lane, to be honest. I think it's a bit easier. It is going to be Yuragi on the safe lane Razor. It's going to be Amar, the friendly guy, over on the Underlord in the off lane. So it's not going to be kind of the same rougher start on this Razor that we saw last time around.
I think the F actually stands for Amar the Farmer, because he likes to farm on the Underlord. I'm pretty sure.
He does. He's like Arteezy, with the potatoes, of course.
Yeah, he does. Amar also does come from a potato farming family. That's why Amar, the farming man.
Farming guy.
Farming friendly guy.
Speaking of farming, Dahawk's going to be able to farm a heck of a lot, and I think he's actually going to need to even on this carry NP. He's going to, of course, he impressed us a lot yesterday in their first game victory, as even Seb is going to drop him a tip early on. Lots of tips all around. Have I missed some? Just some good lucks.
Still one hero.
Amar, I think he was saying one hero pool to noticed. Can you catch me up on that?
I guess so. Well, you mean Kenshin enjoyers?
I'm not sure what that means.
I don't know if that's... Look, all these Zoomers, they watch all these new animes. To me, it means Rurouni Kenshin, which is a classic of the 90s, but I'm pretty sure Amar is way too young to have read that.
73 pubs Razor. Yeah, so he was, they were giving each other a little bit of just friendly banter, right, in the pregame chat
with first pick.
And Amar said one hero pull off lane is essentially that, it's...
Also, this is friendly banter, but also Amar actually getting heated, because I'm assuming he's saying, I first pick Razor, therefore they can counter me and I still win. I think that's what he's saying.
I suppose. I think he was saying you just first pick Mars all the time.
Could also be.
Very original, right?
Yeah.
79 pubs, yes. Amar was...
73, right?
73, yes. He did certainly really enjoy the Mars. He really likes, of course, the Sacred Warrior, the Timbersaw especially, which is kind of a must-ban against him.
It is.
But the Razor was one of his newer ones before he even joined OG. As you can see, even in last game, it's been quite popular for him.
Yeah, he didn't used to be a mid laner, Amar, so that's partially why you like, wait, does he actually play off lane, or it's just another core? And that's the answer is both.
The answer is yes.
Exactly. We'll see how these lanes go. I actually do like the OG lineup, because once again, they do play Tricore. Not necessarily the lineup or the draft themselves, but the way they play is always with farm on their offlaner, which ends up being a Tricore lineup more often than not. That said, these lineups tend to work better when you have fast carries like Razor rather than slower ones like Razor. Or I wouldn't say better, because they did win last game, but it's easier to play.
That it is. Especially for the safe lane Razor, he's got a much more clear go time, a much better indicator for your team to fight around. Right, guys, I have BKB. Let's fight. Guys, I have Refresher. Let's fight. Right. I think it's a little bit easier compared to your offlane Razor, who, yeah, you want to fight around, but ultimately, if your carry's not ready, or if your carry's 200 or 400, 800 gold away from BKB, you're probably going to wait. Not the case here. Razor safe lane doesn't have to wait for anyone. In fact, he's got a support to wait on him here. And it's not the Wisp, as that will be laning here with Amar. Lots and lots of regen. Pardon me, in case this lane was going to be difficult in any case for Amar. I've got kill potential on Taiga. Very limited, of course, as Tether can get you through trees if your target's far enough.
Yeah. This bottom lane should not be. I mean, it shouldn't be impossible for Mars, right, to deal with Razor, but the lane is still bad. It's similar to how Pango versus Razor goes. Yeah, Razor won't kill you, but also the possible field will eventually drive you out of lane, or Razor will get farm regardless because it's just Razor. And I do think the Ancient Apparition here is going to be free. There's going to be a moment where they just go on Force Major, and if he steps out of line by like a single centimeter, he's going to.
Yeah. Basically, any shackle and he's dead, I would say. It's kind of how this hero is played. He does get some decent attack range, one of the better ones in the game. And
True.
Chilling Touch is very nice, right? But overall, it is a bit rough. As Seb getting baited there into the wind run. Thought that Chilling Touch was for him. It wasn't. It was for Yuragi. Not everything's about you. That's Force Major.
Yeah. I'm interested in the fact that they are running. I mean, I know Soneko is the Shaman player. I've certainly seen Force Major, again, on his previous teams play Shaman, right? So I'm interested of the logic behind the 5 and 4. I wonder if they're actually just doing it for the lanes, or they will give farm priority to the Ancient Apparition. And if you get farm priority, what do you build in this game? Like, okay, I mean, I know the traditional build is like you can build like Yules, the Shard for sure, right? But now that the Axe is kind of garbage, I honestly don't think there's much to build on Ancient Apparition.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there, honestly. An aura item might not be bad for your team. I'm
Sure.
an eye in this lineup, and I'm thinking maybe pipe, but like, it's gonna be slow. The hero, even with shard, doesn't farm that fast.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the concepts of 4 and 5 have changed a fair amount, right? So sometimes you just kind of push out lanes with whatever support can do that. That may be the 5, that may be the 4, right?
I could see like a Lotus being pretty good this game,
Yeah.
right? To kind of cancel the Underlord perma root combo.
I like that. I like the Glimmer particularly as well.
Glimmer's always amazing. That's always a good option, right? Against the magic damage, especially given the added resist. Yes, that's a good one.
You can always go Witchblade into Revenant's Brooch.
I
That's always
don't
amazing.
think we're gonna quite see that one on
I
the
don't
Ancient
know, Richie.
Apparition.
Are you sure about that? On a 4 Ancient Apparition, you know, the amount of farm you get is multiplied by 1.5.
That Chilling Touch is something you see quite a bit in Overthrow, but you don't really see it in real Dota.
Real Dota.
Yeah.
Unless you're insane. You.
PCM did manage to at least get a little bit of a refill. Actually, I'm not sure. I think it was denied. Who got that bounty? Not sure who got that bounty. The Hawk. He denied the bounty rune. Actually, he TP'd here and made sure that BZM could not refill the bottle, so he's gonna have to go home for that. I think he sent a Treant over to do it. That would make more sense. Yeah, so that's going to give Laurel some more time to breathe as he's basically full mana and experience. Sorry, and full mana and HP.
Razor just died. Yuragi actually got hit by the cold feet there. And it triggered. It wasn't really a combo. He just stayed in the area of the cold feet too long. Well, he didn't die at least. Soneko in the top lane, also in a bit of trouble, but Amar, no points in the Pit of Malice means overcharge is great, but it's all up to Soneko to not die.
Well, Soneko, he's baited the creeps on over, really wanted to make sure he can cut the wave, and that will at least distract Amar for now. It's the best thing to do against cores. You just dangle some low HP creeps in front of him, and they always stop to hit him.
That's true, especially if it's Amar. That said, I do think that even if he gets his first blood, first blood's always the dangerous one. Usually, I would say a 5 dying for this because of the space it creates for NP is worth it. But first blood is dangerous, especially on Amar, who again likes to build core.
Yep, and again, 2 points in the Atrophy War, right, just to kind of make this a bit more difficult. And there's early points. This is something that Taiga has really been keen on doing, especially when, I mean, granted to him, there's not an amazing Wisp tether partner. You know, there's no, I don't know, Ursa, Gyro, right, who really takes advantage of the bonus attack speed that you get on each successive points of overcharge. So he likes to go for the points and spirits, and it actually does make quite a big difference in the early teamfight damage that the Wisp brings you. So it's a little bit of more utility that Taiga's managed to squeeze out of the hero when you don't get a bespoke tether partner. So look forward to that, especially because it's good at catching these heroes like AA in the back lines where they try and hide.
Again, we'll see, because maybe 4AA builds so many items, he's capable of like outrunning these.
Yeah, I mean, it is really quite curious.
It's just something that like surprised me because it's the one weird thing in their lineup.
Agreed.
OG mid bottom. Okay, Seb just came back to nothing. Never mind. I thought he had like a shackle ready or something, but there's really not a kill potential with the spear. Now they do spear Yuragi, and he's the one that's in trouble. They slow him down as much as they can. Yuragi cold feet won't be triggered. He'll be able to make it out of here alive.
Yeah, mid lane for action runes. Laurel's going to gamble on the top rune, where he does actually have a support rotating over. Taiga could be in for a rough time if Soneko can catch him. BZM gets the illusion rune down bottom. That is not going to help here. Taiga, who does get the tether at least, on over to the wagon. So no first blood in this game quite yet, Albo. 6 minutes in. Yeah, both teams playing very patiently.
Two Shackles. Okay, Force Major. Bottom lane. This might be the opportunity we're looking for, but notice we'll make sure that doesn't happen, at least for URAGi. It'll be Seb who gets the first blood instead. And now with the help of the puck, they might get a second blood as well, but seeing the Pango TP, they decide against it. Dreamcoil instead for Laurel to make sure that there's no way of escaping this.
I didn't catch notice. I was very surprised. I thought it would. I mean, not like it made any difference in that play.
It was just to deter them from Rolling Thunder, right?
Exactly. Top lane, Sprout onto Amar, as they might look for Soneko instead. There's the overcharge, plenty of right-click damage. Hex will buy him at least 1 or 2 right-clicks here, maybe making the difference with the Spirit starting to stack up the damage. Ooh, trapped in, but Amar will cut himself free and cut through the Shaman next to get his first kill in the lane.
Okay. So OG doing a really good job in the lanes early, as they do lose URAGi in the bottom lane. Got a little bit cocky. Laurel did come here and stayed, and with the Rolling Thunder finalized that kill. But the 1K lead for them, once again, looking good. They play the lanes well, and they can keep this going. BetBoom will struggle. We'll see what happens when the Hawk hits his peak, though. He usually tends to rotate really early with MP, but it isn't the easiest kill this time around. Easiest kills.
Yeah, BZM's gotten a couple of stacks. I'm also curious what his build is going to be, because, to be honest, it's still Maelstrom, so he's not deviated into the more traditional, more typical, anyway, kind of NP build like we saw Matumba go for yesterday into the Orchid. Even if it is good against the puck, he's not considering it. He's not considering it. BCM is going for the fairly standard puck build. Whenever we do see this hero, it's usually been Witchblade. That bonus damage, the armor, right? It's all coming in handy here for the fairy puck.
It's particularly good as well when there are like a 5 and a 4 on the enemy team that you can hunt down easily with the Witchblade residual damage, right? I think someone was commenting to me about the fact that with Storm or Puck or whatever, you can usually get people down to like 20% HP, right? And that Witchblade is the extra tick of damage to bring them down to 0, obviously. Because effectively in Dota, it's a black and white game, so 20% versus 100% doesn't matter, right? At this point, if you don't get the kill, you don't get the kill.
Yep. Mars top lane now with 72 bonus damage. Spits onto Hawk's DD. Really doesn't need that with 303 build here. Now he's maxed the Atrophy Aura.
Discreet game, that's the word.
Yep, not much Soneko can hope to do there. No chance, even with his very high base damage, to get that CS. As Amar will be forced back.
Well, bottom lane though, URAGi is in trouble. The Cold Feet once again will trigger. And committing the arena, they guarantee the skill. No help yet from the Hawk, who hasn't rotated, but since they're still getting the kills down bottom, BetBoom quite happy, and they're utilizing this early momentum from the AA. You know, Cold Feet is a pretty strong spell with a stun, and they're accomplishing 2 kills already on URAGI. Laurel could be in trouble.
There's a
Dreamcoil
coil
still available. Yep, Laurel, though, fighting hard against BZM. There's the coil as he charges up the Rolling Thunder. They knew this was going to happen, and they punished him hard for it.
It's pretty major, right? Especially if they take a little bit of farm in this 9-minute camp window, as Laurel doing pretty decent as far as his farm game goes. He's going to have Diffusal up, and like I said, that's going to be a big damage item here for BetBoom. I suspect, Avo, that's when we're going to start to see DeHawk start to join a bit more of these fights, especially as he has now the completed Maelstrom flying his way. Notice, though, once again, going for another kill into URAGi. Seb is here. Here's DeHawk. Doesn't have the Maelstrom. Still has decent damage, and now there's going to be the Amar coming on in with the Fiend's Gate. TPs, though, from Laurel, who is respawning. Amar's going back. He wants to keep farming. URAGi trying to follow him as well. BetBoom can take that. You can actually follow enemy Fiend's Gates. Soneko, he is going to be sent back to the fountain by this squad.
But now with his TP, rather, is his corpse, right? Corpse delivery service here. And BetBoom will have to just go bottom and hopefully take a tower, because they used a lot of resources here. Got to do something with their time.
I apologize, I misspoke. That was just the Mithril Hammer for the Maelstrom. It was not. I suspected he already had the Javelin. That was not the case. I apologize.
It's normal. Thor will eventually infuse that hammer with something, right? Right now it's just a regular old hammer. It's the Hawk in his mortal form. Right?
Yes. Tower top will fall. Tower bottom falls. OG not too eager to trade there. I have a feeling, though, once Taiga does get his ultimate up, that relocate, we might see a couple more people sparring in these very, very global engagements. But that's kind of the proof in the pudding right there, right? Amar can join these fights very, very quickly now that he's got level 6. He did take it at level 8, by the way. He chose to max Atrophy Aura to kind of just dominate the lane a little bit more. That has netted him the tower early, at least matching the tempo and the timing of the NP. So credit to him there as he builds into his first item, being the Rod of Atos.
That Rod now plus, I don't know if you want to fight with the Razor necessarily. Perhaps you can just gank with the Amar squad now with Seb, Amar, and BZM, I'd say.
Ooh, good silence there.
Very good
Laurel
silence.
has diffused all the inhibit, though, of course, will not slow BZM's illusory orb. They're about to hit this double timing as well, Avo.
There's
Maelstrom now is ready to go here. Should be flying on to the Hawk any second.
There's Arena. And Amar is going to be the target. Ice Blast used. The cold feed's on him. Amar will get frozen solid, but not before killing the enemy offlaner. He actually shatters immediately as the Hex plus Shackles catch BZM. They have a Rolling Thunder trying to go for Taiga, but they couldn't cancel relocate in time. Yuragi now trying to finish off Soneko, but Soneko tankier than he looks. Yuragi forced to run away. That Diffusal Blade timing huge.
Oh, Taiga TP'd back in.
Soneko now in trouble as they also shackle his teammates. Illusory Orb will deal with him, and they've actually Dream Code Laurel. Shield Crash for a little bit more resistance. 36% going to work in his favor. One last Swashbuckle misses, and Yuragi will get that kill without dying. BetBoom, they were surprised by those
really
TPs
clutch.
and by a really good relocate there by Taiga.
A super good relocate, and he actually TPs back to the tier 1 tower in the middle of the fight, which keeps Yuragi alive. I mean, even if it's only 1 point in overcharge, I imagine he TP'd back to Fountain, which means he had the Fountain aura to give even more healing, as Notice might be in for a bit of a rough time here. 3 points, maxed spirits actually already, as Taiga and Seb doing the damage here, laying up the kill for BZM with the DD rune. That makes it, what, 4 dead, I believe, in this last push.
Yeah, and the tower, which I think is the biggest part of this, right? Last time they took quite a long time to be able to take the tier 1 mid. This time with a much faster lineup, it's working in their favor, and they have the 5k lead, but with also the typical Tricore lineup. We need some more farm for the Hawk so you can actually match this. But we haven't seen the active Hawk we're used to in the NP, right? I don't think we've seen a single teleport gank here.
We've seen, that was the second one, but that was
But
curious.
a successful one, like
not,
a single
not
skirmish?
successful,
Right.
no. They tried bottom and Amar showed up. They tried mid, TPs and relocate were there, right?
Exactly.
And that's kind of this OG draft. The Hawk also curious, again, he had Maelstrom in his inventory, in his stash, and he didn't quite call it in that fight. I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Maybe 1 or 2 procs kills the Razor, I guess, if, you know, hindsight 2020, but he couldn't wait to get into that fight. And again, it was BetBoom who proposed it, so I don't know. BetBoom, they do this interesting thing where even when a push kind of fails, they still get the objective. Tower's still gone.
I do think that OG's pressure might have made them think they could take a quick fight, right, for that Maelstrom timing. The Fusel Blade certainly was impactful on Pango, but there was a couple of really clutch plays by OG that turned that team fight around, so I don't think it was the craziest of plays. And I do gotta commend OG's draft because they understood that the Hawks' way of playing MP is all about that global potential, and that's what they're abusing here.
It's a very pointed voice line as this smoke was picked up by this ward here. However, it looks like smoke is going to break Force Major. Going to detect someone in the trees. This does give vision here on the Ice Vortex. They haven't yet scouted him, though. Oh, Ice Blast is going to go the wrong way. And Amar will simply TP out.
Yeah, good TP. BetBoom won't be able to catch him.
And actually, I think OG, they might group for a smoke of their own. Or they're going to...
Yep,
Yeah, okay.
And what are they smoking on here? There's no BKB on Razor yet. I guess Blink Dagger on Puck, okay.
Yeah, okay. Blink Witchblade is going to melt these supports, especially because they have a ward here.
But Laurel, Dream Coil, the Shackle is needed just to set up for the Illusory Orb. Well played here. However, Yuragi still stuck in the trees.
As he is, and now stuck inside the arena as they're going to look for Taiga first. Inside the server wards is Yuragi. Taiga still holding onto the relocate as it's been canceled even. That will condemn Yuragi. 3 dead, though, for BetBoom as Amar joins the fight out of the backlines. He's going to chop through Force Major here as BZM stuck inside the Sprout will win the mano-a-mano. Firestorm damage will tick down Force Major, resulting in a complete team wipe for OG.
Yeah, OG much more dominant in this game, showcasing what a Tricore does when you have faster wars. BetBoom, they took an okay fight, at least in terms of positioning, was fine, but eventually they just can't deal with this Underlord's power spikes nor the pucks, and they are capable of playing on their own.
Yep.
The lack of farm here, 7k lead at 15 minutes is a huge amount.
It's massive, especially with the Nature's Prophet.
Yes, you expect him to be much more farmed. Him as a base hero is really doesn't do as much. You do have the little bit of Wrath of Nature in the fights. The Sprout helps a little bit, but BetBoom is just not ready to propose these things. And the Hawk, he's gonna go with his alternative playstyle, which is cutting the lanes, which I think is what he's trying to do.
Yeah, and planting a deep ward, just trying to find an awkward spot where potentially they could get a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, it's true.
So
this will help cut the lanes again, right? As the Hawk can do this, he just goes in, he knows when they're in the triangle, and at least you delay the game this way. They certainly need to do this. Avoid fights is the game plan for BetBoom. BetBoom right now.
And OG, they just keep finding Laurel is really the problem, right? This mid Pango.
It's the puck, man.
He wants to find, yes, I mean, to their credit, right? So they're playing very well, but Pango
they picked it into the puck.
He can't get this ulti off. Finally, he's going to do it preemptively as Seb is going to summon the Wiz, which does push Seneko, funnily enough, as he is channeling. Seb is still holding on to his abilities. His Ice Blast here might nick the both of them. It does, and actually it finds Puck. Taiga relocates in Uragi, but outside of the arena, inside is noticed here. Coiled, he's going to be eventually free to leave. As Ice Blast level 1, not enough damage here to shatter the Puck.
Yep, BZM will be capable of TPing back home. BetBoom, though, like you said, they picked the Pango into the puck, and this proposition was just, we're gonna win this as long as we get enough farm on the Pango eventually. Because they got crushed a little bit early, this shard is heavily delayed, and honestly, without the shard, you just can't deal with it. You need that to get rid of the Dream Coil, and you also need to play the team fights very specifically, right? Save the shard for the Dream Coil, then Rolling Thunder, and then you can use the rest of your spells, essentially. So it is definitely not an easy proposition.
Taiga's convinced Wraith Pact is good. He does.
I think it's a good idea.
He does tend to queue this item up quite a bit here, pulling it up on the side, just in case you're not totally up to date on what this newer item does. Couple of adjustments in 731C. You know, what do we call it? The old Ice Frog nudge.
Yeah. And a huge one here as Uragi gets nudged into the grave.
Well, Amari might not even come through this one as Taiga. Do they have the right-click damage from him? They do! My goodness, did you see that Greater Tree? It's absolutely dunked on the Wisp. And Eko even thought about going through there. That actually got Amar to even look.
He wanted to get a high five, right? That's what he was committing to. We almost have the Blink Dagger on Soneko as well. For a 5, not the worst timing. They have given him kind of equal farm priority to Force Major, who is soon going to be getting that shard. And a very important kill there on Uragi. However, BZM still the most farmed here for OG.
Who was the match yesterday, right? Collapse versus Insania, when they would just kind of high-five each other a bunch of times in lane. Nothing of the sort here for Soneko. Amar, no mercy from him. There is no F in mercy.
Oh, because of Mar.
Yes.
Oh, that took me a while.
That's okay.
Yeah. That wasn't fair, you see.
No. There is an F there.
BKB for the Hawk, still a whiles away. If you're BetBoom, I mean, these pickups are fantastic, but I think OG should stop letting you do them, to be honest. Like, they have a lot of global potential, and Uragi is oftentimes seen alone simply with Taiga. Maybe they need to play a little more defensively. This is the best way, of course, to expand your farm, though. So that's why OG is just trying to control the whole map, even at the expense of some of their heroes. Okay. Maybe they don't think these skills are even that major for them.
Good TP out there from Amar. Smell the smoke coming, and we'll join the rest of his team, over in the top lane. They're going to sweep wide with the mid-tier 1 tower down. This is a move they can make, but OG is actually doing the same. So a little bit of the toilet bowl maneuvers as the water is swirling around here. Let's see where they will meet. Looks like right in the river here outside the Roche pit. Seb's smoke here is a bit fresher than BetBoom's, so he's still under the cover even though he is underneath a dire ward. Amar very eager to collect this gold, and that observer ward will now see him. Oh, I think Amar, he scouted the ward. Yeah, nice job, Amar. He scouts the ward.
Well done.
Yeah, he aggroes the creeps on, and because they continue to chase, he knows that they have vision there. So just a Dota player, man.
Yeah.
Just always actively thinking about every single thing and reacting to information. Yeah, that's big.
And because that ward is a common spot for the ward, they also actually pings the exact spot for the ward, which is very impressive.
Yeah, he does.
But yeah, they figure out this for the Hawk. Or the Hawk's ward, rather, as a BetBoom at least gets a little bit of time now to farm that BKB on the Hawk. That's going to be the big turning point. They also have the shard on the Ancient Apparition.
Very, very well done there. Taiga's like, yeah, you were right. Good job.
BZM in the top lane, he gets a kill on Soneko. Doesn't matter though, because Soneko just bought his Blink Dagger, so no gold lost there.
No gold loss, yeah. Not the best. Oh, well, what's going on? Fiend's Gate. They're going to look for the Hawk. He actually sprouts, but Amar's got a bit of a route for himself as well. Ice Blast coming in to support, and they push Amar into the explosion. Taiga is going to go for the reload out and does successfully manage to evacuate his partner. But will they bring him back? They might consider it. It looks like Uragi and Seb are actually running on over.
Yeah, they're nearby. They're biding their time. I think BetBoom knows something's going to happen. Amar comes back with a BKB. There's going to be a counter initiation. It seems like Taiga in a really good position. Can't get hit by the Rolling Thunder. As noticed, is being slammed by Amar. Sliced and diced. Noticed. shot in the back and killed.
Oh, Taiga.
Yuragi still chasing after Force Major, hoping for a kill, at least on a support. Activates BKB just for this. A shackle shot will guarantee this. Laurel slowed by the Witchblade, but still has a swashbuckle. And in fact, BZM could have gone a bit too far.
Nice.
Shackles will be the one that cancels him.
Very good. Yeah, very well done there. Soneko goes, absolutely not. You get out of my base.
Yes.
He wasn't having any of that.
No, he wasn't. My heart wasn't either. Oh my god. BetBoom, yeah, they get the kill on the buck there. Really good hex. And Soneko, once again, his positioning impeccable. And there's the quote-unquote Blink Dagger reveal, we could say. Because I don't think they saw him buy it earlier.
No, and really nothing that Razor could do either. Yuragi cannot tank a tier 3 tower. Those things absolutely shred this early on as they go diving beyond the tier 1, beyond the tier 2, into the base. OG will be repelled, even if they did fight beautifully around that nice relocate.
I mean, these plays, though, I do got to question if they're the best plays you could make, right? Is there a need for you to play that aggressively and try to bait out the relocate and everything? I mean, I guess it was a really clever play. Like, it's really impressive if it works, right? But if you're winning, is there a necessity? Isn't there a higher risk than a reward? I'm not sure.
In terms of who? Of diving
the original,
like that?
the original
or
play of... No, the diving for sure was a bit of an overextension, right? But the original play of the Underlord. Because the diving, I understood where it come from. It's an overextension to us because he didn't see the Blink Dagger for the Shaman.
Sure.
And their Shaman could get to him quicker than he thought. Fair enough. I get that. But the play by the Underlord was interesting.
I guess they were just strong. They had BKB. They felt strong, and for good reason, as they will blow through Soneko. Amar with his own BKB. Yuragi as well does have the link. Dahak is losing his damage, losing the fight. He's going to TP out. Good Arena of Blood maybe makes the difference as it blocks the projectiles, at least of the puck, who gets immediately blown up by Laurel. 2 dead then for OG as they look for more. The bonk not enough to get through Yuragi. However, as Seb uses the last of his mana, trying to get the pick off onto Notice, but he lives on 100 HP, and now Laurel looking for +1. Dahak is back with damage with mana, and getting the kill makes it 3 dead for BetBoom.
Well done. And here, you know what the impactful item was? Pango's Shard, Richie. He was capable of finally getting out of the Pit of Malice. In addition to Dreamcold not being impactful, the puck couldn't use it because he knows the Shard is now online. And Laurel could finally be useful in these team fights. It feels like he's been liberated. We usually talk about peak items, but this is a point of inflection for the Pango as he does manage to now have a more consistent, easier fight as well. As the Hawk finally gets some farm thanks to that fight, and is going to be building that the Shadow Blade first, eventually into Silver Edge. More aggression from BetBoom, though. Straight into the smoke.
Yeah, and I really like how Dahak quickly realizes I am not going to win this fight. I have to use my BKB just to leave, because he knows he has the ability to simply come back. That was a TP, I believe. He did not use the teleport. I didn't see the the little dance animation. As I hear a shackle, it's over towards the middle lane where they have caught a Pango. And the wind is blowing him back. Pango's going to make the jump in. Really nice job there on the roll-up yet again. But Soneko in more trouble as Yuragi immediately onto him. Notice doing his best, but they're coiled by 2. Serpent Ward's getting through Amar. He's also going to die. They ice blasted him. Soneko's still alive. Someone needs to do a bit more damage. He gets another Ether Shock onto Seb. Down he will go. A 2 for 2 so far. As now Notice goes for more. Goodbye to Taiga. BZM will avoid it. He says, get down, me, and shoves his bodyguard in the way.
Yeah. Soneko's impact in these team fights as Shaman is absolutely ridiculous. That Shaman 5, maybe that was the experiment we haven't seen yet, but it's been working wonders for them. Surprisingly tanky hero who walked around the fight, did so much, and even if he died, doesn't really matter because he guaranteed the kill on Amar, and eventually Seb as well, was surrounded by the treants there. SNY now finished on Yuragi, hoping to deal with the Shaman a little bit better here, but he gets caught. That SNY is not gonna matter, as they burst him way too quickly with a double damage on Pango.
Yeah, that was easy. I don't know if maybe Roche is potentially, I think it is, no buyback. They don't know that, of course, but a dead Razor for an entire minute. Now they bring in Dahak. The minus armor here, of course, on the lucky shot here is going to aid them greatly. There's no Serpent Wards. That one Shackles, of course, actually makes a, or sorry, the one Ether Shock makes a big difference because this is a different style of Shaman that we usually see. This is not 1-4-4 Shaman, it's 4-4-2 right now as they blow through Roche just there on Laurel. So the Ether Shock making a big deal of difference. It's a lot of damage, that spell.
Yeah, interesting choice. Not the Hackle Shaman.
Not the Hackles.
What is this?
That aggression.
Ether. The Heather
to build up.
The X.
On the other end of things, you do have the BKB now available on Arteezy, so he might want to try and use that to force the fight here.
I like that. I like that.
A little bit too early though. Beast Coast, they're the ones trying to get aggressive once again. Into that Radiant Triangle they go. Whisper setting up along with the snap. They've held down Crit, and eventually Crit will just drop. As Chrysler able to take another kill on the TA, and they're right into that mid-tier 2 tower. They've got able to get a very important tower here in the mid lane.
You have the movement speed of probably the Underlord here.
Not much stopping.
And this Wraithback is going to greatly reduce Pango's damage. I think that's the goal.
That was a deny from Jerax.
Huge amount of area damage from
using
this guy.
the old illusion.
Dumbing this early mid game. While
Sneaky.
the Hawk
Did you manage to keep that shove in top as well? So Nightfall just ensuring that the top is going to be under pressure, maybe forcing a response.
The problem is the totem is pretty easy to go through.
Is TP home. Got the arena ready. High ground hold for at least he's not the worst team in the world.
Affair as Nightfall is not going to land the spear. Nice pick away from Chris Lock.
Queues up the basher and says
That's going to be about enough here for Beast Coast. They'll back their way up. There's just no stress for this side right now. No need to rush. 9k advantage. You don't want to throw that away against EG.
Maybe they felt
They'll
stressed
back
out
off.
about the Pango shard.
EG, now the pressure builds up. You lose this game, there's no tiebreakers. You are going to the airport. A lot of pressure here for EG to try and make a comeback.
That is
too much
true.
now in a way.
I mean,
Yeah,
OG
bot
are
fight,
still finding the
Nightfall,
farm. A lot of
nice
this farm
setup
is
with the
concentrated
arena.
on
They'll
Dahak,
find Stinger
right?
again.
So we'll
K1
see
and
if
Whisper,
OG
they still want to fight.
manage get,
Nightfall
on
running
top of him in these fights, especially as these BKB durations get lower. We're going to see a lot of that net worth lead that Dahak has on himself kind of start to diminish. Dahak keeping even with BZM, who is going to be the biggest net worth leader of OG with his Kaya Sound, Blink, and Witchblade. But BO2 is, of course, greatly aiding him in matching the global mobility of this NP. However, it's still NP who is sieging your towers, as the tier 2 is going to quickly fall at this rate with these greater treants.
Yep.
And
The
Laurel.
ghost push of the treants.
Oh, Laurel thought about it. He's just playing. There's a ward up, though. Amar, he has a feeling that there might be a Tinker ward up, given that the way that BB like to play, so they will smoke out of vision of the Tinker ward.
Nice. Well played by them. They could try to punish this play, but it's a bit difficult when the enemy holds your triangle.
It's a bold move. AA's down bottom. Ice Blast will take about, I don't know, 15 seconds to get. Not that long. It's maybe like 8, but
Essentially, arena plus spear.
Yep.
And you'll get them. So it's not really that big a deal.
True. And actually, it looks like OG will just sweep across the map, potentially towards this AA. Not really the kill that they want, of course. Notice it's a bit hard. Pango's got an Aegis for 2 minutes.
I did want to touch on the point that you made earlier about the... Oh, sorry, wait. Notice has to kill IO first. The Taiga's like, oh no. Wraith back towards, save me. There is the spear, and he's going to die.
That's the Wraith back. Dies in 5 hits.
And it does. Laurel has the Rolling Thunder, also the roll-up. Ignores these strong winds by just protecting himself. And yeah, on the point that you were saying about the biggest farm, the most farm core in BetBoom being the NP, this tri-core lineup of OG could take advantage of the situation and itemize completely against NP. You know, Heaven's Halberding, mainly that, and then stop the MP from being as impactful. AC would not be a bad idea either because he's mostly physical damage, right? And ignore the rest of the team. But of course, the Pango's having so much impact with, honestly, not that much farm, that it's kind of difficult to commit all your items just to the MP.
And it's really the shard, right, that makes the biggest difference there. Amar, by the way, he's going to have a harder time normally with the Satchel or Max Hold. I thought they're going to hack him from the low ground immediately, and they go. They're going to try and get through Amar before the BK can get off, and it looks like with the Ice Blast, that is all but a certainty, as the Hawk doesn't even need the Ice Blast. Amar pings that they have vision there, and he'd be correct, as he has a whole minute to contemplate that little play. But the problem for him that he's now having is that even though Atrophior is fantastic against NP, and overall this hero is very good against him, NP is a hero that naturally builds into a break. He's got it online now, so he does not care about Atrophy. He is going to absolutely shred you in that duration.
Yeah, it's true. Also get rid of the Uragi Shard, which is actually kind of a big deal, the Storm Surge, right?
Yeah.
People underestimate how important the shard is. I think is kind of crazy, especially when you have more static heroes, like, no pun intended, like Nature's Prophet, right? The single second to slow allows Raze to just outrun them, essentially.
And speaking of outrunning, he's going to have to do some of that. He's farming underneath a ward. They know where Uragi's trying to TP. They're going to look for Taiga, who does not have one for 30 seconds. Not the big fish they were looking for.
Oh, Taiga.
He says hello to Notice, and Notice will immediately pin him to the tree. So Neko giving chase, has Shackles, Hex, just the Hex necessary here. One auto attack for good measure, and down it goes.
Okay. Notice is going to take another kill on Taiga, who has been kind of playing almost like the... I guess because the best dead laner you have, quote unquote, you know, the best lane shover out of the supports is the Wind Ranger. Io is not very good at that. Instead, he's been playing as the gank tanker, you could say. Yeah, gank tanker, which is usually the 5 position. So they swapped around a little bit, adapting to the game. I think it's fine for Taiga to die a little bit, but it is also true that whenever he's dead, you really do not want to take a fight as OG.
All right, Lincoln's up now for BZM Puck, as well as for the Dahak NP. Basher as well online for Laurel, so BKB TP out with Swashbuckle available is no longer, a tempting option. And speaking of Bashers, Amar's also got one too. He didn't want to be left out.
Yeah, I like the basher pickup by Amar, actually.
I do.
A way
really
to deal
like
with
the
a
item.
potential roll-up on Pango, because he obviously has BKB as well, or even the Rolling Thunder.
I like it.
Yep. Noticed, just annoying him. They know that BB is definitely nearby, so they're poking and prodding. I don't think they'll commit too much, though.
It's a lot of poke, though, isn't it? Yeah, give me that Glimmer Cape, please.
Well, you know, Puck is like the iron poker, right? He just brands you and says, it's mine now. And in fact, acknowledging this, they're going to go for a smoke because they forced BetBoom out of the preferential position.
Yeah, BetBoom don't want to fight. Soneko is TP top, so they've made the call to just back up and perhaps wait for next Aegis, as they are hunting, but Laurel quite speedy. Gale Force wins aren't going to be enough to catch him, but they're still hunting, as he will go ahead and roll up to try and evade this. And it seems like that will be able to get him out of harm's way.
Okay, Rolling Thunder, good. Right now, if you're BetBoom, you got a small taste of what it feels like to dominate this game, but you don't want to lose it. They're not playing risky. They understand that OG still has a really solid team fight. And OG really playing on their timings and around BZM, essentially, who's now going to be building into more of the physical damage puck, which in my opinion, by the way, Richie, is the best way to make puck scale these days. The magic damage puck kind of dead. The axe is a good item and everything, for sure. But now with the shard, that used to be the talent, of course, and the fact that puck can also even go for the level 25 talent of the rapid fire, not that bad.
Another smoke play coming. OG have just lost their vision around this area, though, as the Hawk gets the D ward, and they show themselves mid with the spells. Obviously, this was just for the move speed. They know that BetBoom are in the air, and they're looking for the jump, but Soneko's got a BKB. Seb starting to pile on the damage. Soneko traps himself inside the Serpent Awards and says, I will die surrounded by snakes. Laurel doesn't want to die to a storm, though, but he is being taken for a walk as Yuragi has the leash, and Laurel has absolutely no way to escape Swashbuckle, but still surrounded by trees. He will go down, gets a final bash off. That'll connect at least the Ice Blast, as the rest of BetBoom giving chase. The buyback on Soneko, as Eve also finds himself leash, trying to TP away. Is going to be Yuragi canceled, though. Here's at least the Wisp to try and top him up, but it's not enough healing. Dahawk, though, in a bit of a rough spot, has TP, but he's bashed by Amar. They have nothing to see inside, though. The bash not there, but the Pit of Malice, of all things, is going to cancel the TP and net them the kill onto the Prophets.
On point. Amar just barely getting the bash. Also the Pit of Malice. And with that, BZM is capable of going ham. Now finishing off the Mars. He's hoping for it. BZM instead finds the Ancient Apparition. Force Major will die for his offlaner to live. Notice is capable of making it back home, but perhaps not. BZM is crazy. He goes in deep underneath Tier 4s. TP's back home. Really showing them with a panic line.
Yeah, it was a mad fight, wasn't it, OG? There was nothing that was like a freight train with no conductor there. They were just running right into that fight, and they were taking it no matter what. The first Swashbuckle wasn't enough to break the leash there on the Razor Static Link, so he was just following that Pango around, stealing all the damage as the fight broke down around them. Great job by BZM, just focusing down onto this, Shaman, right? Making sure that there was no control after the BKBs wear off. And really, OG, just classic OG Dota. They just kind of run down BetBoom.
Yep, exactly. I think, again, they're just playing on the BZM puck. They know this, and Yuragi's playing more of, honestly, how the offlane Razor would play. He goes in first, he gives the vision for the team. BZM is the real damage source, now hitting level 25. Went for the Dream Coil Pierce's Magic Immunity. This way, Pango is going to go back to his canceled state. Nothing you can do against that, honestly.
Don't let Roche bash him. He would probably explode there, as the Ice Blast will delay this temporarily. 2 seconds for Dahawk, but even longer here, another further 15 until they have noticed back.
Dream Coil now hitting Shaman and the Ancient Apparition. Level 25 will make it so Shaman can't run away despite this BKB. Force Major being pushed back as well and killed. Taiga does die in the middle of this engagement as Amar. He fights Dahawk head on. He gets the bash. Dahawk wants to kill Amar, but he's suffering against BZM. He does get the kill, though, against the enemy offlaner. As Dahawk, he held his ground. Now realizing it's time for him to retreat. BZM in a similar position cannot go ham this time. Yuragi also scattering like the wind. He's being chased down, however, by Notice. Blink Daggers available in 5.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to go much further, though. A bit of a risky move. You don't know where the puck, you don't know where the Windrunner's gone. Great fight there. Great buyback from Force Major. Makes a little bit of a difference. You can just see how quickly Puck starts losing that 1v1 as soon as Atrophy Aura is down, right? They kill that... oh, my goodness, hold on. We're not done fighting. A great shackles here by Seb as he pushes them into Roche. Roche doing some work as well with the bash. Onto Notice. At least the disarm will allow Notice to get out of the pit, but not without some parting damage from BZM, who I thought was going to jaunt in on that. He'll get slapped by Roche once for his troubles, but no stun there. Roche at about a 5th HP. Second Roche, by the way, still. Aegis and that Ag Shard is BetBoom very eager to get back into the pit. They're at full strength now and have the outpost, so Soneko is coming back. A little bit lower on HP is Pango, but he's going to be regenning in the fountain and TP in momentarily. Yeah. The Hawk is trying to finish this one off, though.
Seb has a Blink Dagger, though. You gotta be careful with this. He sets up with a Gale Force, and look and notice he's being carried away. The puck now hitting him, preserving the potential high ground, but the arena prevents this.
Uragi got Aegis.
Uragi takes the Aegis, and now the Roche is going the way of OG. How are you gonna fight this, BetBoom? It seems like Force Mage is already down. Notice is being brought down as well by PCM. He's a bit too crazy, and they find the Pango. Pango is in a bad position. Swashbuckle away, but that's not gonna save him. Razor has too much movement speed. Up to the high ground he goes. The Rod of Atos. Laurel is down. BetBoom at least saves the Hawk. That's all they can do, Richie.
I believe so. I mean, in the chaos, I didn't quite catch who got shard. I think the Hawk picks up shard. No, he definitely bought it. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. We'd have to see the replay of that.
Uragi also had his before.
Yeah, Seb had his. First Major had his. Pango had his. I'm not sure. Where's shard? I don't see it.
Yeah, I actually don't see anyone that's consumed shard. They didn't break it, did they?
Maybe. Laurel's got one in his backpack. He's got it.
Okay, Laurel got it.
All right, there we go. We figured that one out.
Hectic
Hectic
fight,
fight,
do you give
man.
the shard to here?
Hectic fight. And by the way, something that, BetBoom are going to be a little bit salty about is that Spider Legs, which OG have found for their Tier 3 neutral item here, and which Razor is carrying and will probably carry until Tier 5s come through, does allow you to walk out of the Sprout Leash Talons.
Yes. But Puck does not have those Spider Legs. He could be in trouble. He broke his Lincolns. However, they don't know how long they can stay here. They don't know who else is a buy. So Neko, I think it's his BKB. They want to punish Seb for his transgression, but the Dream Code cancels both DPs. That level 25 once again coming into play.
Uragi.
They're stuck here. The Hawk, he wants to run away, leaving Soneko to die, but that is going to be a punishment for both. As the Hawk and Soneko lose their lives, the tips come out, and BetBoom on a knife's edge, Richie.
Yeah, seriously, and I think the knife is a little bit serrated because BetBoom have been bleeding basically for this past couple of minutes. It's been so hard.
A piece of bread.
They couldn't find anything. Yes. It's been really, really rough for them here. OG have really come into form after this kind of chase team fight. Seb looking to set up more here with the Blink Shackle. He wouldn't even have anyone here too quickly. There's a relocate in. They'd kill it. They'd take a kill into notice, rather. And they're not going to find it on this occasion, as Uragi is going to look for the last couple of Tier 2 towers. Age is still in his inventory for just shy of 3 minutes. Refresh, BKB, soon to be AC, and of course Taiga buffing him up this entire time.
Uragi, it's the tower bot a little bit. We get a small lull in the game as the age is still up. But they're not going to go for Tier 3s just yet. They're only trying to force the buyback most likely here on OG. Unless, well, I mean, if they don't do anything, they'll go, yeah, sure, we'll take the free towers. But it's a bit difficult. You know the enemy team can still counter-initiate you. So OG will take a chill pill, farm a little bit more, gets the next big item, which is the AC here on Uragi.
Yeah, some nice
items.
items.
By the way, sorry, Revenant's Brooch on Puck.
Oh, thank you
indeed.
for pointing that out. Yeah,
Slax doesn't even know what this item is.
No, it doesn't. Second one of the tournament, I believe. But this one, well, 15K. You know
why, Richie? It's all because of Gunner's video. Gunner made the one video on Red and was like, you know what, Gunner, you're right, dude.
That's all the Tier 2s with this Aegis for OG. Might be considering to go up to high ground here. Taking a look at the buyback situation for BetBoom. It's not too bad. Laurel having one and DeHawk also at the ready. While really Notice is not too far away. Basically one kill in the team fight and he should have it. Especially if he continues to farm like this. So the cores with buyback into this Aegis for OG. But OG hanging back, not really feeling the pressure to end this game immediately.
No, they know that they could play risky early. No longer is that window open, so they can go ham. They got to get the right team fight.
We are getting a lot of level 25 talents to kick in, though, so let's quickly catch up on Pit and Malice talents here for the Underlord. It seems underwhelming. It's very good. Notice is a bit far. Laurel has his, of course, Swashbuckle cooldown taken.
Yeah, better for a mid game, or mid lane Pango, sorry.
And DeHawk is very quickly approaching his. What he's going to end up opting for. Haven't seen.
Oh, he did it. 2.5 trait damage.
Relocate. They're going top.
They go on top. The relocate is going to be for Laurel, and that is a huge kill. However, he does that buyback. So
yes, he does.
Now you definitely force it. That's 98 seconds, way too much time. Aegis 46 seconds. We did see a BKB, right?
Yeah, because they're ready. They want to fight on the way back in, but Refreshing is going to fight again. Soneko not ready for this, even with his own BKB. As DeHawk aiming for Taiga. Uragi freed, though, by the BKB outside of the arena. DeHawk's going to use one of his own. He's going to try and TP out of this using the scroll, and he is free to leave with no Dream Coil to stop him. But notice, he is held in place by Amar. Makes it 4 dead as Laurel buys back. Uragi goes straight onto the high ground, eager to get this Aegis regeneration in 15 seconds.
Okay, BetBoom. What are they going to do now with only 2 heroes? They got to defend this. One of them doesn't have buyback either, of course, the Pango. Mars could still buy back here. And how much are you willing to commit? OG is about to lose the Aegis, however. And they're just playing defensively, Richie. They know they don't want to force this potential Mars buyback into a big team fight.
As Aegis.
There's to go. Expired.
It will expire. Being reclaimed by Roshan. The Hawk has taken the Treant's talent at 25, by the way. And just to catch us all up on that. Nice play there. OG, of course, they have the vision up. Sorry, they didn't actually have vision. They had this ward up in the base, this little sneaky one that you can still do in the Dire base. And you can't do it in Radiant, so... or can you? Not really, not as effectively.
What sneaky ward, sorry?
The one next to the tier 3 tower here, this guy.
Yes.
Yeah. It still gives you a good amount of vision.
Yeah,
Top
in Radiant,
lane,
you gotta cut the trees.
free kill there as BZM. He's gonna look for revenge here onto Dahak. He's got a good amount of damage and he's winning the fight. Forces the BKB up to Hawk. Soneko, though, could make the jump in, but Yuragi's also here. So Dahak, it makes this leash, trying to at least prevent anything from happening, but unfortunately, he will end up dropping. The global mobility is just simply too high here.
Luckily, he still has buyback. The question is, you know, OG keeps staggering these deaths. At what point will we decide to actually go to the high ground? The Roche is not up for a while. Will they just wait for the next Roche? Honestly, it's possible. I mean, they don't see the clear opportunity. I'd say that with the Hawk dead, though, they can at least try to go for more kills and keep on bleeding the enemy team.
Yuragi sees him as well. Coil is not going to find him, but Amar's incoming. Soneko is going to drop the Serpent Wards and a good Ice Blast here onto 2. Laurel's going to turn himself around, but the puck gets himself out of trouble with the phase shift. Amar stuck inside the Arena of Blood, at least doing a good job controlling Dahak, who buys back but doesn't have BKB. If they can cancel this, it'd be huge, but Amar can't get the attack out in time. Laurel
also,
now
that would be a bash. That would be too lucky. Laurel
in trouble and might not be able to make it out here. Does not have buyback here. He's short. Just
oh no, they hit him. They hit him with a Witchblade. He's gonna be slowed. Revenant's Brooch. Too strong.
Too strong.
He had the roll up plus DP potentially, but it's just, you know, we needed the Rolling Thunder for that. They were gonna kill him regardless. And there, 30k lead for OG, acknowledging Pango has no buyback because he did use it earlier. This is the opportunity we're looking for. Spider legs now on Razor, going up to the high ground. Time to hit towers.
Yeah, he's gonna have a refresh at the ready here in just a couple of seconds. BKB in 20 after that. Scotty is ready. There's damage for Dahak. Out of buyback, out of time, no mid laner. Very quickly gonna run out of buildings.
Yeah, dude, notice, just literally kicked into his base. BZM not letting anyone leave now with a shard for phase shift.
He's almost 30, by the way.
Dream Goal Rapid Fire coming into play.
Here it comes. Give it to him, baby. I want to see it.
I do. Wind Ranger, though, is stuck in the Sprout here. No Spider Legs to get out. But the Pit of Malice covers. And in fact, with the Gale Force, can they get a kill here? I noticed they certainly forced the BKB, but the Dream Goal will punish him regardless. There's the Ice Blast. Amar could be in a little bit of trouble. Activates the BKB. BetBoom literally cannot leave their fountain.
No, it's quite challenging here. Lots of fire and brimstone as Yuragi's going to go, screw this, let's end the game. Aiming for the tier 4 towers now. Has refresh, has BKB, Eye of the Storm shortly here to aid the fight. Still 50 seconds without the Pangolier.
The Hex gets the IO. Now they commit the Arena. They want to kill Tiger, but the Force Staff will save him right now as the Gale Force brings back BetBoom. And it's time for Yuragi to start doing damage, hoping for Force Major. He will be finished off. Noticed, gets to the fountain, but Soneko is not so lucky. Noticed, at least will live for now. But it seems like BZM is crazy with the Godlike Streak, kills him. Underneath the healing of the fountain, BetBoom will at least get a counter kill on BZM. They do punish him.
And everyone's going home. Oh, Taiga just makes out in time. Notice tossing the spear on the buyback, which is a second late. They may decide to come back through that. They still have the numbers advantage here, Avo.
Yeah, they do.
15. Here they go. Round 2. There goes the tier 4 tower. Ancient exposed. BetBoom. It's up to these 3 heroes versus the 4. Yuragi. BKBs to Hawk. In trouble. Doesn't have BKB for 25. He's losing the mono Amana because Amar is here with the auras. Yuragi will steal the damage. He's going to take the game and the series as OG go 2-0 versus BetBoom.
The second game mattered for the points, but you know, the respect, the reputation, that's what OG was going for, and they played a fantastic game 2. In game 1, it was all about the comeback victory towards the end, but in game 2, they held their own. They made a couple of potential blunders into the mid game where BetBoom got an edge, but in the end, they learned how to close out the game. I really like as well how OG, the moment, as we say with a lot of the Spanish community, the modo serio, you know, the serious mode, once they realize, okay, we've done a couple of fights, it was a bit risky, now we got to play defensively. Humbly. They swapped their playstyle, they farmed for a while, they got the right items, and then they only attacked BetBoom when BetBoom was in a bad position. I also loved their death staggering. BetBoom is an incredibly active team. They know they have to play the map. They don't just stay and turtle in their base. So what did OG do? All over the map, relocating everywhere, using the Fiend's Gate, finding whatever kill they could, and making sure that they always had at most 4 heroes alive.
Yeah. I also really like how they had redundant solutions to the global mobility issue that DeHawk kind of presented, right?
Yes.
You have BOTs on your mid, you have the Fiend's Gate, which eventually starts to work against you a little bit. We did kind of see that, not really fall off, but there's the one gank that put them in a little bit more trouble than it was worth. And then, of course, the Wisp relocate. It was just like anything you can do, I could do better. DeHawk made no effort to cut waves except for planting the one deep ward. It would have been a death sentence, to be honest. And even towards the end of the game, BetBoom, a team who I always commend for being able to find fights and find unique angles and entrances to the fights, were struggling to even find an opening.
They just canceled their Pango too hard, honestly. They understood BZM was more of a win condition than URAGI. The way they played around both was really good because URAGI, once again, more of a tank. Later in the game, he became the carry, but BZM was kind of carrying the game the whole time. And he canceled the Pango. They picked Pango into Puck, and Pango into Puck does have a big window now, with it, which is between Shard and level 25, you're actually pretty useful. We saw that coming into play. But the moment that level 25 on BZM came online, it was just impossible for Laurel to do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It was kind of this awkward timing where Shard is good, and then it kind of goes back in favor of the Puck, and it stays there for the rest of the game, unfortunately.
The pressure it gives him is just too high as well. So we're going to see how OG took this victory, but that's going to be a little bit later as we take a small break and come back with a quick interview with the OG guys. So see you guys then. Hello, guys, and welcome back. We have an interview here with one of OG's players, number 4, Taiga, will be joining us today. Very, very exciting. I can't wait to see you.
Yeah. Our producer said straight to the interview, and we're right into it. Albo didn't even say hello. Hello, Taiga. How's it going, man?
Hello, it's going great, man. I fed a lot today, but, you know, comeback are great.
You want to talk about that a bit? You mean game 2 with the IO?
Sure, the game 2. I think we had a great lead from lane, and everything worked well, and then we started throwing a little bit, got excited, like, guys, let's just go in, let's have some fun, you know, like, we are already upper bracket, what else to do? Just fucking go, and then we start throwing, so
okay,
so got it back.
So the plays there were like you guys trying to like gain a lead, but you were having fun about it, or was there some logic behind it that you could explain?
There was not really much logic. I just felt like playing IO because, you know, I played Nyx and died 14 times in the last game.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it was the game 1 that was a little bit rougher on the Nyx, especially because that was the game that was going to get you in a guarantee upper bracket. You know, how was it playing that game, especially when, I mean, it seemed like you guys just knew one curse and we're back in it, right? Is that like a little stressful, or did you guys just always have, you know, hold the faith?
I don't think we were a little bit stressed, but I think we had a great lineup and people playing like comfort heroes, so we knew what to do pretty much, and we had a lot of some individual mistakes. So, but you know, by the end of the day, like if you perform well as a team, you work together, coordinate your spells together, and talk what you need to do, then it's gonna look better if you have a better lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. Now that group stage is over, I was really curious because we got to talk to you over in the DPC season about how you guys were developing as a team with a little bit of the newer voices, kind of meshing with the older ones. Now that group is over and the boys are at their first LAN, how do you think you guys are improving here?
I think for our first major, this is incredible. Without our captain, like this is insane.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of OG haters out there that wants us to lose, but you know, even if we lose, we are here with our captain being upper bracket, beating like a lot of teams, and I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's amazing. Congrats. I do want to ask though, is Seb fulfilling that role of the captain then instead for the team?
I think Johan and Seb is doing a lot of the mental work on me as here too to watch out. I think it's great. Even though I see that we lack some leadership, I still see like Seb improving each game he plays with us. Like he just keep improving. I don't see the limits of this guy. He might be 30 years old, but you know, his reaction is not slow, I can tell you that.
I wanted to ask you, because when we interviewed in DPC, you talked about how you were the quote-unquote eldest to the team and you were teaching these young ones, you know, about the beauty of Dota. Has Seb taken that role from you now? Is he the one that tells the stories?
Of course. He's the most experienced player probably in the entire esports alongside Nortel.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, because you guys had finished now your season, or sorry, not your season, your Group A run. You spoke to the haters from OG, but you guys finished a very strong second place now after Group A. Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Thanks for supporting us, guys. The one who believe in us still after going 0-4. The people who didn't have doubts in us, I appreciate you guys still stand strong. I did tell you that we're probably gonna lose some point, and that was the day we lost 0-4. So.
Yeah, congrats again, Taiga. Can't wait to see you in the upper brackets, and thank you for giving us this interview. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Lovely guy to talk to all the time. Right?
Yeah, Taiga's great.
It's great to see them as well. You know, honestly, I hadn't even considered that. Of course, going with a stand-in, yes, we always talk about the DPC points and the literal ramifications, but even just for the team individually as a mentality, going into their first LAN without their captain, there's the thought of just hearing him say that really kind of drove it home. But a strong finish, second place here at their first LAN without their captain. I think OG can hold their heads high as we take a look over at the standings.
This is Group A, of course, and in case you guys were watching the other stream, Beast Coast did manage to win the one game against EG. They needed to win to secure their spot in Group A and therefore into the playoffs. EG will now be the only team eliminated from the groups. Of course, there are two teams. One got disqualified, though. That was Mind Games, who were unable to bring their players here. So, unfortunately, EG will be out of the tournament. At least for Beast Coast fans, rejoice. They make it out.
And just to clarify, this scoreboard is scored alphabetically. OG do have the head-to-head result over tiebreaker, which according to the tiebreaker algorithm for first through fourths is going to get them the second place finish.
Exactly.
So don't worry, OG fans, you're still in second. BetBoom will take third, and T1, yes, there we go, with a very impressive fourth place finish, going 50-50 at 6-6.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll know now that the two lower bracket teams will be Boom Esports and Beast, because Boom, to many, a surprise as one of the favorites coming to this major. But they have told us before in interviews they were having some internal struggles in the beginning, and whatever that may mean, and they're going to try to work them out as they get into this playoffs. Very excited to see what they can accomplish.
Yep.
You know, lower bracket runs are always more exciting, and I'm sure SCA fans are used to them by now.
That is true. I mean, that's naturally going to happen when you go 50-50 the first 3 days of the major, right? I mean, it's
almost more impressive that you can do 50-50 consistently against every single team, which is also, it's actually the Beast Coast and the Boom stories. You're like, oh, but they're losing against the better teams, right? No, they don't care. It's just, they like throw a coin and they go, I decided to win today.
True.
I decided to lose today.
Yeah, OG and Boom don't win a single series. They drew, OG drew, sorry, make that Beast Coast
and Boom, yeah.
They drew 4, Boom drew 5, which is just kind of incredible, right?
Yeah.
And for their performance, they received the 5th and 6th place slots in the lower bracket.
Yeah.
So they'll be waiting a little bit here after the first day of playoffs begin for their opponents.
The thing I'm sad about is that I would love to see tiebreakers between Beast Coast and Boom and just infinite. I think if you actually got them to play tiebreakers and you've managed to like harness their energy, you would get infinite energy for the world. If you guys want to stay in this stream, of course, we would love for you to. And we do have more matches today in Stream B. There's one more match specifically, which we can see here now on the schedule. So as you just saw, we had the BB versus OG game. We're going to now move on to the Thunder Awaken versus TSM. That's going to be for the Group B. And then in Stream A, which is also finished, we'll soon put on the Fnatic versus Gaming Gladiators game. Now, you'll go, okay, well, that's a lot of names. What does that mean? Well, see, in Group B, it's super spicy because every team in that group has a 50% win rate. There literally can be infinite tiebreakers, which of course is what everyone loves because it's when the broadcast starts going wild and we don't know what's going to happen. Except for mind games, they don't count, of course. Team Liquid and Spirit, the only team with like one extra win here, but everyone else with a 6-4 exact score.
One extra win, you mean one extra game played between each other, which they drew.
Which they drew.
And that's the beauty. You look over at the group table and you go, what is this? Well, how are there 4 teams in 3rd place?
Yes.
Well, it's all going to be determined here. We're very likely for some tiebreakers unless both series are definitive 2-0s.
Yes.
We will have tiebreakers of some sort at the end of the day, which will be best of 3s or best of 1s. I believe I saw a Knoxville tweet to host Dota 2 statistician. The biggest ever tiebreaker in a group stage before was 5 teams. So this could be
DSC, right?
I believe it was.
Yeah, I remember. I casted those.
This could be potentially
28-hour stream.
A new record here at the Stockholm Major. That, of course, is all going to be coming up after the break.
Yep.
So make sure you guys stay tuned.
Which our producer will certainly need because of the tiebreakers we get later. So,
oh my goodness, it's going to go wild, guys.
If you guys don't mind, we're going to take a small break, and then we'll come back with a different set of casters, different set of teams. It's going to be Thunder Awaken versus TSM. If you want to watch the Peru versus Peru matches, Timado representing us there in TSM. Do stay tuned. And, of course, you can also go watch Group A if you want to watch the Fnatic matchup instead. It's been a pleasure, guys, and we'll see you soon.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Trending with the cool kids. I wear it if the shoe fits, yeah. Designer brand exclusive. I wear it once and lose it for the next best thing. One quick slip and then I'm out of frame. No one really seems to care though. Got an ego, can't explain. Icy boy with diamonds on my frozen soul. Spending all my money on expensive clothes. What's it take to get me on the radio? Slow down for me, goddamn, slow down for me. Icy boy, I'm an icy boy. Icy boy, the frozen soul. Suicide doors are looking gorgeous though. Icy boy, the frozen soul. Suicide I'll come over. Let me drink for free. Call me gorgeous. See what's underneath in my head now. Planning silently how I would get out of this if it turns ugly. This is what it takes to be a girl, trying to survive with pretty girls. Gotta check behind me when I walk down the street. Don't know who is watching me. Sitting pretty in a wicked world is what it takes to be a girl. With the big men in their fancy suits, talking business in the conference room. Big promotion, what do I have to do to get that many zeros in my check